back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.
To Crime Time Conversation, where the truth speaks and the people listen. From Cape Town to Maryland, from Nimba to Montserrat, the future calling Liberia. When the voices of the people start to rise, you can see the truth within their eyes. Too many years of struggle and pain, still the people dancing in the rain. But hope is growing in the land tonight, a new vision coming into sight. A servant leader walking with the crowd, speaking truth, humble but proud. This is Crime Time Conversation, talking about the nation's transformation. From the villages to the city life, Liberia searching for what is right. Education for every girl and boy, healthcare bringing hope and joy. A stronger future we can see for every Liberian family. Hear the farmers calling from the field, waiting for the harvest that the land can yield. Technology knocking at the nation's door, young minds ready to explore. Electric power shining through the night, security standing for what is right. The economy rising for everyone, a new chapter has begun. This is Crime Time Conversation, voices of a rising generation. Agriculture feeding every home, no more hunger, no more roam. From Cape down to Maryland shore, the people say we must do more. From Nimba Hills to Montserrat streets, the future and the people lead. Now the people talking in the marketplace about a man who walks at steady pace, a leader with a vision for the land, reaching out with a helping hand. From humanitarian work to leadership call, standing strong when the people fall. Talking about dignity, justice and trust, serving the nation because he must. Not for power, not for fame, but to lift Liberia's name. A vision rising clear and bright, leading the nation toward the light. Oh, Liberia, hear the cry. Let the children reach the sky. When the people stand as one, the victory has begun. The conversation starts tonight, speaking truth and shining light. Together we can build again for the daughters and the sons. This is Crime Time Conversation, voices of a hopeful nation. Education, health and peace, let the nation struggle cease. With strong leadership guiding the way, Liberia rising day by day. From every county hear the call, a better future for us all. Where Liberia speaks, the conversation continues.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Primetime Conversation. I'm your host, Dr. Clarence R. Pearson. And today we're bringing you, everything good in current conversation situation obtaining in Liberia. And our role is to just provide you analysis and update on issues obtaining and pertaining to our homeland in Liberia, West Africa. I want to say welcome again to Primetime Conversation, a production of the LIB Future TV. And I want to say this is a Liberian-owned and run broadcast. We also broadcast live via the Kia Radio FM 94.9. I want to say again, if you are joining us on Kia Radio, I want to say thank you for being there. It's a pleasure having you. And we look forward to a spirited conversation today, discussing matters pertaining to Liberia. Today, we want to look at the president's speech. Of course, we will also cover the issue that has to do with the drug situation in Liberia. And we talk about other current events that are unfolding, the arrest and possible prosecution of the former First Lady. That is an issue that is not going to go away. We're going to have a conversation around that. And then we will speak on other issues pertaining to the future and the nation, where the nation is headed to. And I'll be right back after this brief clip. And then stay tuned. Don't go away. Be there. And I'm here to take you through this conversation tonight. Again, we'll be discussing issue pertaining to Liberia and everything Liberia. Let us listen to Mr. Cummings briefly on what he said concerning when he becomes president.
Natural resources. That's what the waste we can reinvest. That's what we reduce the corruption.
Will you reduce your salary?
I would donate wherever the salary is for the president. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's public. But wherever it's there, I will make it public and I would donate it to some charity.
You will not take a salary?
I will not take a salary.
Cummings, you on record?
I'm on record. I've been on record.
You will not take your salary as president?
I will not take my salary as president of Liberia. I will make it public where that salary is, and I will make it public where I was going to donate it to. I like education and STEM education, science, technology, engineering. I might allocate it to improve STEM or something. I don't know what it is, but I will not take a salary. We'll allocate it.
Anyway.
And that doesn't mean other people shouldn't take their salary, because I've been blessed. So I'm not doing this for the money or whatever else. Other people need their salary, so I don't suggesting that because I'm not taking mine.
And the key point to take away from there, and, I'm not after becoming president for the money. My intention is I want to contribute towards the success of our nation, Liberia. I want to say again, welcome to Primetime Conversation. Our evening drive in Liberia, but this time in Liberia is around 7 p.m. All right, and we're here until 9 p.m. in Liberia. If you're on the West Coast in the United States of America, then obviously you are indeed viewing us at around 3 p.m. So I want to say again, you're welcome, and thank you for joining us on this broadcast. Again, let us go into our conversation as we discuss matters pertaining to Liberia. And let us talk about the president's speech today. The president provided his speech today. Let us go into the yesterday. And the thing about the speech is that it is interesting to note that the speech of President Boykai, I'm not sure what is going on, okay? Because I noticed that even though the speech was prepared in advance, but for some reason, we are hearing that the speech was not properly communicated to the Liberian people. In fact, part of the speech was cut off, right? So let us take a little bit and have a conversation around that, right? So the office of the president is one of the highest office in the land, right? And the office of the president being one of the highest office in the land, it is important that whatever we do, we need to make sure that it is the best that we have to offer, right? So whatever we do is the best, because a lot of people following us, a lot of people going, watching Liberia and what's going on in Liberia. When you say that your president, the president of the Republic of Liberia is going to be speaking to the nation, there are a lot of people who will pay attention, especially when there are key things happening in the nation. When key things are happening in the nation, when you say the president is going to be addressing the nation, a lot of people will be paying attention. A lot of people will be following because they want to see where the situation is going, what's going on in the country, what's happening in the country, and they want to follow the events of the country. So the point I'm trying to drive at here is that when you, as a nation, are going to do something that important, you have to be on top of your game. You know, I don't know, I'm not sure why. For some reason, whoever was doing the technical setup of the president's speech must have made a mistake. And because that person made a mistake, it appears like the president's speech was cut short. So I'm not going to play that speech, right? I'm not going to play the speech, but we'll discuss the speech. All right, I'm not going to play the speech. We're going to discuss the speech, and the reason we want to discuss the speech is because we want to put some emphasis on some of the things that the president said. All right, what is our overall impression of the speech? One, two, what can we take away from the speech? Right, what is the overall impression we have about the speech, and what can we take away from the speech? So we want to look at that, and then when we delve into that, I'm expecting Lavetta hopefully can come on. She's going to be giving us our news update. I know some of you will be asking, so I want to say, yeah, welcome. Share the show. Lavetta is going to be coming up. We're hoping that she's going to give us our news update. And I'm hoping other members of our team can join us. Also, I just sent them the link. It appears that I sent the wrong link previously. I just want to say, if you follow, I just sent a link to one of our team out there. Once you find it, you can join the conversation. But so let's go back to the president's speech, right? So the president gave a speech, and I want us to look at the speech carefully. So let's look at paragraph by paragraph. The president says, in a read, I come to you this evening to reaffirm a solemn commitment of this administration. He said this administration will enforce the law without fear or favor while protecting the constitutional rights of every person. So the welcome, Lawrence. Sorry that I sent the wrong link. Are you there, Lawrence?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing you, Mr. Pearson. Good.
Sorry that I sent the wrong link. So well, welcome. Maybe you want to say one or two things. We're on air, right?
Yeah, except like I thought we were taking the regular news update from Lavetta Davis.
Yeah, we can. I was just waiting for you all to come on. So if Lavetta is on, we can take her, but I don't see her on yet. Is she on?
I'm not seeing her yet.
Yeah. So I'm discussing the president's speech. That way I started off front. Since you just joined me, you want to give your opening statement?
Yeah. Yeah, so but you can go ahead. Later on, I'll come in to make some comments. Yeah, so
okay. So I want to say welcome to the Liberian people. If you're joining us on KR Radio 95.9, I want to say you're welcome. This is the Primetime Conversation with me, Dr. Pearson, and Lawrence Spencer. And we are here to bring you discussion on evolving events in our country. And tonight, as I mentioned, we'll be discussing the issue of the president's speech. We'll look at the arrest of Madam Joy Howard Taylor and what impressions that we're developing from there. I want to look at the drug issue on the overall, especially with where are we now with this whole drug issue. And I know Lawrence may want to emphasize some ANC related activities. That is a matter of what we call it's a no-brainer situation. He probably might be bringing some information concerning our the ANC. Okay, so let's go back into what we're saying. So I'm reading what the president wrote for some of you who have not seen it, and then we'll discuss it. So he says he want to do, I say it again, this administration will enforce the law without fear or favor while protecting the constitutional rights of every person. Over the past several days, developing in our country have sparked public discussion concern and is, in some cases, he said, misinformation. As president, I believe it is my duty to speak directly to you, offer reassurance and make clear that justice must be pursued firmly, fairly, and independently. Well, whether that is true, I'm not sure we'll get into that. And he further says, when you entrusted me with the leadership of this country, you did so with a clear expectation that I would uphold the Constitution, govern with integrity, strengthen our institutions, and ensure that no one is above the law. Liberia faces serious challenges, but we are making just deliberate progress, all right, through the arrest agenda for inclusive development. Yet, None of our work in the economy, education, infrastructure, or public institutions can proceed unless it is anchored in one one fundamental that join two words together. It should be one fundamental, but up the both words together. So it's one fundamental principle, the rule of law. I don't understand how the president can make any boast in the issue of the rule of law, but we'll come there. And then it goes further. He said, one of the greatest threats facing our nation is the growing menace of illicit drugs and organized crime. Drugs are destroying young lives, weakening families, fueling violence, threatening our country's future. Let me re-echo here that this is not simply a law enforcement issue. It is a national security and moral issue. Consistent with our pledge, my administration has intensified the fight against narcotics trafficking, money laundering, and organized crime. Our security institutions have been directed to act professionally, independently, and without fear or favor, working with national and international partners to prevent Liberia from becoming a transit point for illegal drug or as a safe haven for criminal network. Let me be clear, the president said. This campaign is deliberate, coordinated, and unrelenting. It is intended to defend the Liberian people, protect the Liberian character, I don't know what you mean by that one, and safeguard our nation's future. This national campaign against drug and organized crime is not directed at any individual, party, or political movement. It is directed at conduct that threatens the safety, stability, and future of Liberia. In recent days, the arrest and detention of former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor has understandably drawn national and international attention. I assure every Liberian, our regional neighbors, and our international partners that former Vice President Taylor is being treated in full compliance with the Constitution and laws of Liberia. She is presumed innocent, has access to legal counsel, and is entitled to due process, which will be upheld. The former vice president has been arrested and charged in accordance with our legal procedures. It is not the president's role to determine guilt or innocence. That responsibility belongs to our independent justice system. Our democracy will be measured not by how we treat those with whom we agree, but by how faithfully we uphold the rights of every person who comes before the law. To those who have expressed concern, I say this: the concern is legitimate in a democracy, but guilt of innocence must be determined by the courts, not by political, or not by politics, rather, Roman conjecture or public pressure. My administration will neither prosecute nor shield anyone. Well, I'm not sure how that is true, because of political affiliation, office, status, or influence. Whether one has held high office, served in government, led a business, or lived as an ordinary citizen, the law must apply equally to all. I commend the men and women of our joint security for their professionalism, courage, a devotion to duty, despite pressure and attempts at intimidation and calculated misinformation. They must remain steadfast, impartial, and respectful of the rights and dignity of all citizens. This fight cannot be won by government alone. I ask parents, communities, schools, and religious institutions, traditional leaders, and young people to reject misinformation, support prevention, report criminal activity through lawful channels, and allow due process to proceed. I call on political and religious leaders, civil society, and public commentators to act responsibly. The Papa warning us now. Differences of opinion are healthy in a democracy, but we must reject words and actions that incite violence, undermine institutions, or seek to intimidate those enforcing our laws. Liberia has come too far to revert to a culture in which justice is swayed by fear, power, or political pressure. Our nation has endured conflict, hardship, and division, yet we preserve that peace by upholding the Constitution and strengthening the institutions that safeguard our democracy. As your president, the president said, I assure you that the government remains committed to justice, fairness, accountability, and peace. We will govern without fear or favor, protect every citizen's right, and build a Liberia where peace is preserved, justice is impartial, and accountability applies equally to all our public. Thank you. So that was the words of the President of the Republic of Liberia. There you have it. And we will take some time to just go into this this expression of the President for a bit, and then after that we'll move on to the next topic for today. I don't see Lovetta right now, so we'll just continue with our discourse. I don't see Lovetta Lawrence, so we'll continue with our discourse. So since Lovetta is not here, we'll continue with our discourse. So the president said, and there are a couple of things in here that caught my attention when I read this president's speech, Lawrence. The first thing that caught my attention here, the president said that he is committed, his government is committed to the rule of law, the constitutional rights of every person. And in my view, right, I think if there's anything relative to the on the overall to this whole speech, this speech in my view, I mean, it contradicts the action that we see on the ground. In my view, right? I know it is my opinion, right? And if you listen to the primetime conversation, I'm saying that is my opinion. I think the president's entire speech is contradictory to the reality of the president's own action. So when the president says his government is committed to constitutional rule, I don't see that as being a fact. Because when I reflect, I notice that there are so many instances where the president is in, gross violation of the rule of law. And that goes far back as pertaining to when he took office, his total disregard for 10 new positions, 10 new laws that he himself sat and presided over and passed into law as president of the Senate of the Republic of Liberia when he was serving under Madam Ellen for 12 years. So if he sat in the Senate and he passed laws that protected 10 new positions, and he came and disregarded that law to the extent that people who took their cases to the Supreme Court ruled in their favor, and he disregarded completely the Supreme Court ruling on tenure and end up paying people off to just stay off the job and put his own people there. I think that is not respect for the rule of law. And then in retrospect, I also see the issue with the Fonati Kofa and the whole House of Representatives saga, right? The illegal removal of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. where we had a majority and a minority black. And his government, President Walker, intentionally supported the minority black that was in gross violation of our constitutional rule. And he allowed GAFAN to provide them budgetary allotment from our budget. He submitted the national budget to that illegal body, only for the courts to come back and say the body was illegal, and they had to go and go back and rewind everything that the president stood for with that illegal faction. Right. So when I look at these example of his adherence to the rule of law, I see breach in commitment to words and action. And I will stop there for a bit. And just on that point, Lawrence, you want to come in?
Yeah. So thank you. Am I clear enough? You getting me?
Yeah. You very clear. You loud and clear.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Pearson, for the show. Yeah. So basically, you know, Mr. Bwaka is a very, very interesting president. He says one thing, and on the other hand, he does another thing. So I'm not surprised. For me, I'm describing him as a talking president. Okay, he just talk all day. He's somebody who is totally detached from the reality of our country. Today he just held another cabinet meeting, making it the 24th official meeting saying he took over. So that alone speaks volume. And some of the very things Mr. Bwaka been saying in the past 23 meetings is the same thing he reiterated today. So it speaks volume and a picture the kind of presidency we have in Liberia. I honor Mr. Bwaka. So myself, I was just reading along with you to his quote-unquote address to the nation last evening when he talked about there will be no fear and favor in the second paragraph. And that statement itself is a slap in the face of Liberians, ordinary Liberians. Look, Bwaka and his lies will not make us to feel unintelligent. We are not unintelligent people. We are intelligent people, okay? While it is true, we have a high rate of gullibility that exists with the Liberian population, but that cannot negate the fact that there are Liberians who also have a thinking ability. Far majority of the people are following what happened in the country. So we saw the kind of irresponsible way the law was carried out against the former vice president. Some of all that we are maintaining, we are not a finale or a fence, so to speak, to the vice president, the former vice president, the CDC. Our position here is clear. We believe in Mr. Cummings' agenda for better Liberia. But, I mean, injustice against any Liberian should raise a red flag to the rest of us. So you have your son that have been heavily indicted, okay, that we saw cartels on the social media, on Facebook specifically, making remarks that are incriminating of your son. But today he has not been invited by any law enforcement agency in this town or across this country to ask him at least the simple of things, to just ask him, to invite him to ask him. Your son is probably somewhere, I mean, in the Bahamas, as they are always seeing on private yachts and what have you, lavishing our resources. And today you said you are dispensing justice free and fair without favor or partiality. I mean, you must be joking. You must be a joking president to come with the kind of bravery and stand in front of us and be saying those kind of things. What do Bwaka take us for? I mean, Mr. Bwaka should know better as a president that, I mean, there's not the atheists that they were in government with the DOE and the rest of the other people. Today, we have social media. We are following what happening, what is unfolding in our country. So what we are witnessing so far is an amazing display of selective justice and government that is just on mere showmanship. This job fight has been politicized, but by them very self. The less of the Buladin and others, they are still roaming around. We keep saying this thing. I mean, so somebody will say, okay, Makuya or involvement in the justice on allegation. What about Buladin? We admitted to the RG. The RG held a press conference and told the Liberian people that this guy admitted. He had confessed to the crime of taking 10,000 to ill cartels in prison to get them comfort. So why is this brother still roaming the Principal Street of Monrovia, drinking club beer and womanizing? Why is this man not in jail? So, and President Bwaka wants us to now come to change and say, yeah, oh, the president is sweating job on an impartial basis. I mean, look, President Bwaka, in much you learn how the presidency will add no effort. I mean, you cannot continue to run a country in this one manner. It's quite unfortunate. So, I mean, the whole press statement was a waste of the Liberian people pressure time. I think there's nothing sustainable about that press statement of Mr. Pearson. It's just a regular cliche, the rhetoric, and Boga then trying to add that they're working or they're doing something meaningful to move the goalposts in the fight against jobs. But the practical reality, we that live here, Mr. Pearson, the ordinary citizens are disappointed in this regime. When you go into the rural communities, in the rural slum community, the people are better with this president the way they are handling the just fight. So these are my opening comments, and I think quickly back to Lovetta Davis, our sister. I think she's not well. That's the information I got. She's not well, so that's why she couldn't bring our regular day-to-day update on the show. So I just thought to say that.
Thank you, Lawrence. I want to say our primetime conversation followers want to say welcome again. Please share the show if you're on. And again, want to apologize with like Lawrence that we can bring you the news update. But again, stay tuned next week. There's gonna be Novella will be about the grace of God. Novella probably might be well, and she will be here with the news update. We want to come again to say now when the president talked about.
Yeah, I want to say speedy recovery to her too. Yeah, so Lovetta David want to say from the team here today, want to say speedy recovery to you, man. Thank you for the joy you continue to do for our people. We should work well soon. Yeah.
All right, and so look, when we talk about it, when the president say, look, there is not going to be any secret cloud and other kind of thing. I don't know where they're taking all the rhetoric and from, but the point here is that when you have private bars still running, right? I got my intelligence say private bars still open, right? Even though they had a private bar where was knocked down for participation in the drug business, private bars still operating. What I heard somebody mention, I'm not sure. So anybody who know about it in Liberia, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. But somebody reach out and say private bars still functioning. And not only that, even the GLS company that took the drug to the airport, the company is still functioning, right? So how can we have these institutions that are deeply involved with the drug issue that have been knocked down by the security apparatus, and their owners are being held liable for the drug, and then the institutions are still functioning? What sense does that make? That one doesn't make no sense to me. All right. So I think when you're talking about the application of the law, those are some of the things that matter. Those places should be shut down. Places should be shut because the drug law is clear that those places should be shut down to the point where when the cases is prosecuted and the owners are found guilty for trafficking drug, those places should be sold. And the drug money should be turned over, or the money of the proceeds from that should be turned over to the government to fight drug. So if the place still functioning and it's still operating freely, what does that say to us Liberian people? What does that say? Unless the property does not belong to the person who is doing the drug, and the person who was using the place to traffic the drug was abusing without the owner's knowledge. That's a different argument altogether in the courts. But I think it's unfair for Liberian people to be thinking that the president means well, and then at the same time we see these double standards. It doesn't clarify to us that the country is indeed ensuring that everybody is equal under the law, right? And another thing the president mentioned, but before we go there, I want us to have this conversation. And Lawrence, you one of those who have and believe in President, the president, next president, Alexander Cummings' vision for leadership. What do you think President Cummings, if he were president, would do differently in terms of the law and fairness?
So Mr. Pearson, here's what I would say, right? Let me start by bringing this to your recollection. There's a very good big brother of ours by the name of Asif Tupa, that once served as the chief of office staff of Mr. Cummings, the next president of the country, by the way. So Mr. Alva wrote a book, right, during the Riyadh administration. It was somewhere around, I stand to be corrected over the year, probably 2016 or so. And when Alva wrote that book, and it was a biography of the former president, where some of what he did in the past as a young man coming out and blah blah blah. But in a nutshell, the public, because of certain line that Mr. Alva wrote in that book, Mr. Pearson, there was a public outcry, right, from the Liberian people, from our detractors then, and the very people in Unity Party today, most especially, that time, because they got afraid of the primary, knowing that Mr. Cummings was certainly going to defeat them face down through a free and fair primary. So they came up with all kinds of backdoor tactics, and Baka and his people successfully disintegrated the CPP, and they went by their way and became one of our major adversaries during the elections. So they criticize Abba seriously, and what Mr. Cummings did, Mr. Cummings dismissed Abba from his office as COS. So now when we come here to talk, we are not just marketing somebody that don't have track record of living some of these things. But what we see with Baga today, Mr. Pearson, there have been a barrage of public outcry from the intellectual, from the intelligentsia, from our marketers, the Yana boys, the motorcyclists, the petty traders. They are saying, hey, this Gregory Coleman guy, for example, who is the quote-unquote RG, he is conflicted. There have been allegations swimming from left, right, center on this brother. There's a need that this guy step aside. What Baga did? So 2 days ago on a Thursday, the last week Thursday, right after the show, I think the following hours, Baga held a reach long of a bar gravity. I know he walked from Western Guard to Foya or to Monrovia or where. And at that event, he again dismissed the Liberian people concerned and endorsed his police RG and said, Mr. Como, you have my expressive confidence. Thank you for the job you're doing. So what does that say about the president? It says a lot about the character Mr. Bwaka is. He does not respect the people who voted him into power. Mr. Bwaka believes in his boys that are around him. Okay, the Bwaka Jaliba, the Gregory Coleman, the Patrick Hunter. These are the people Bwaka is listening to and taking instructions from. Not you and myself. Bwaka think we are lesser Liberian because we don't believe in his cause. But on that, Mr. Cummings, there's a track record for that. Ava lost a job with Mr. Cummings only because of a script that he wrote, a line that he wrote in a paragraph concerning Mr. Wias' biography. So that speaks that if Mr. Cummings was in the executive mansion today, the lesser Como will not be around government. You will be sitting somewhere answering questions. Or you cannot ask me, what's the evidence? I'm giving you an evidence. Abba case a scenario. And Mr. Cummings said, I've always said, my dear senior brother, you can determine the future performance of an individual from what they are doing in the past. If I paraphrase, that's what Mr. Cummings always said. So I'm determining what Mr. Cummings would have been doing today. The action Mr. Cummings were in acted today on the less of Como and the rest for what he did to Abba and many others. Last day before you come in, there was a driver also a son, I don't know, a driver security personnel, also a son of Mr. Cummings. And you know why that brother lost the job? Because he asked one of the foreign guests of the old man for a tip. That brother lost a job. So Mr. Cummings is a very straightforward person. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a fight or story that live in the AMC. He's need to be one of our guys. I think he near Melbourne or so. I will not call a loud name for his privacy. But Mr. Cummings dismissed that brother because he asked a foreign guest for a tip. So the person we support, look, Mr. Pearson, that Pearson, it's not because some of us we want to come to the system. No, we support Mr. Cummings because of the exemplary leadership he has exhibited in the private sector and at his days at the AMC up to current. So when we support Mr. Cummings, we support him with our full chest because we believe in what Mr. Cummings is capable of doing. We believe that this man will go beyond you, Mr. PSC. You can be close. I don't know how close you are to Mr. Cummings, or you have that presumptive. But no matter how close you are with Mr. Cummings, and you transgress against his policy and what he stands for, you gone. You gone. You become a history. You will never be around Mr. Cummings, and that is what lacking in this current leadership, in the lens of President Baka and others.
Yeah, thank you. You spoke well. In the book you're talking about, the Avatukpa Road is called George Weah, the Dream, the Legend, and the Rise to Power. And I think he spoke about the president's sex life in our book in a very, very disparaging way.
Yeah.
And that became a big talking point in Liberia. about how whether it was appropriate for him to have had that kind of a disclosure in his book, even if the person confide in you. And, those are not things that you want to be writing about. And so somebody would have said, maybe it will make we are unpopular, it will make Cummings popular.
Yeah.
Become president.
Or how about like my man, how about Rami, let me close, let me play a blind art to it. Yeah, like what we're seeing today. President Baga dismissing Liberian people, endorsing Gregor Como. When we all crying that this man is he has become the nucleus of this thing, he in the center of this thing. Then he go, and sit down. Even if you don't want to bring it to the investigation, fine. But let somebody neutral or neutral person come at the NMP that is not part of this whole, cartel situation. Mr. President said no. The ordinary people, you're on your own. I got especially confidence in Mr. Como. So it speaks a lot about the character President Bwaka is.
And that's the thing, right? You want to have a president who what he says matches what he does. Because it is when people see that what you say match what you do, then they see quality leadership in you. You can be trusted, right? Because trust is a very important part of leadership. If people cannot trust you by your word and match your actions with what you say, even investors cannot trust you. Serious investors cannot trust you because the serious investor will say, listen, this guy who is purporting himself to be a leader, someone who is supposed to be making leadership decisions for me to go and trust my capital with, my money with. If the man word cannot match his action, how can I trust my money to him or to his country? And I think that is bad for the nation, right? So let's move over. The president mentioned something that take us into our next talking point today: the arrest and incarceration of Madam Joel Harvard Taylor. Let me just get your own impression. Tell me the feel in Liberia on this situation, so I give my opinion on it. Lawrence.
Like I said in my previous comments, look, that appears in the population. If you speak to ordinary Liberians, especially those ones that are not using their political cap to think, they are increasingly disappointed in the presidency or in the president or the way the government is handling the entire George saga. Okay, because one who had thought that this thing would be done on an equilibrium, everybody will be treated fairly. Like we just read from what they posted on e-marshal here, there will be no favor, there will be no secret cow. But like you said, what we're seeing is, I think the statement is paradoxical with the actions on ground, because we see a clear display of where it's appearing to be a political witch hunt. Because if it asks and back the door, it has to be one. So you cannot be telling us there will be no favoritism. We expect justice as per the rule of law demands. And we see people who are in your inner cycle, people who are your own, people who you think brought you to power. They are masquerading Monrovia, and some of them, the just issue, there's more compelling evidence against them. That is as compared to hearing the vice president that is under discussion. But yet still, you send armed police officers in pickup board, and they intimidated a woman, they disgrace her publicly, and then you drag her currently, she at the Monrovia Central Prison. Where is Leroy? You talk about the private bad guy. Where is Leroy today that appears in? These are questions ordinary Liberians are asking, and there's no answer. And what we continue to get from the presidency is the normal political rhetorics. And it cannot help this situation. So the whole job fair has become a political issue. So Baga is shielding his own. He may not come in and lecture all about being free and fair. So the ordinary Liberian that appears in the people, the tension in the country now is President Bwaka want to get the opposition community, especially key figures within the opposition. He want to weaken the opposition at his own advantage for 2029. That's what some ordinary Liberians start to roam around rural communities. And the people got right to say these things. Because if President Bwaka is very serious against this just issue, to fight against with the fight of this just issue that appears in. But now, Boladin who have been behind bars. Okay? The Leroy guy will be in police custody. I mean, the Makuya guy from the airport, all of these guys today, they go been in detention center while this issue is unfolding. But you cannot have your own. They are free, they are living their life comfortably, and you are going after other people and incarcerating them. Okay, you say you got comparing evidence. We wait till the case go before court. But what we say, the preliminary operations, what happening should go across the board. Especially with somebody like Dean, who admitted or taking cash, physical cash to facilitate the process for the cartel. Why is this man parading the principal street of Monrovia? That's the one I get on the nerves of everybody, Mr. Pearson. So, I mean, the people are not happy. The ordinary people are very, very bitter, except for some of their supporters who things their party is bigger than the country, because that's how Liberia is. People believe in political individuals and political parties than the constitution or the country we call our own. And that's the difference with the ANC and other parties. We believe that Liberia can first. That's the reason when Mr. Kumi speak, he speak Liberia. When he talk Liberia. Okay? Everything about Mr. Kumi says vision for this country is about the country. That's why you don't see him engaging in all these shenanigans. They are political poo and whore, putting people in the street to cause chaos. Not that, I mean, Mr. Kumi like these way out. But the thing is, Mr. Kumi believe that Liberia should be governed by rule of law. I told somebody the other day before I closed that appears for you to come in, that Liberia parent, you may want to agree or disagree, is the rule of law issue. People violate in the traffic, it boils down to the rule of law. The way we treat sanitation, it boils down to the rule of law. Somebody drinking, they throw the water bottle anywhere. So for me, I keep telling people, I say the day Liberia start to address the rule of law and dispense justice fairly, regardless of who is involved, that appears in Liberia will make progress. Until then, all of what we own is a caricature of ourselves and our state. That's the reason Mr. Kumi is very heavy on the rule of law. He's very key. He's very key. That's why the other day when he spoke, he talking about even bringing an international friend to assist with the investigation. Because we see now the investigation intentionally is being kicked aside by the government. Not that they are overwhelmed, but they're doing this intentionally to destroy the Liberian people. Because they lack the will to hold their own accountable. So they want to now bring in major opposition actors and link them with their jobs so that the Liberian people can be distracted from the real culprits that are trying to destroy our state, that are declared just war on our country. So the people are frustrated, that appears in. The people are heavily frustrated and no politics.
And that's true. And when I noticed that when we on some talk shows, when you put up and when you open the line, say call you and say whether you're happy or not, people majority of people in Liberia say they're not happy. But for you to continue, one of our sister or program, the Spoon Talk. The guy had a sample or sample the other day of how Liberians seen the fight, and interestingly, those who on ground rejected the fight against the government. They said the government is desperately performing with the fight against Jaws. Wow. So Mr. Cummings and the ANC put up a statement where they said even with all of this situation going on, that ANC does not have problem with executing the law or following the law or arresting people, but there has to be a proper procedure and fairness in the process. So it brings us to Madam Joy Howard telling how she was arrested. No, there are certain things Liberian put into perspective. Now, I don't think anybody is against the fight against drug. I don't think any Liberian, if you ask any Liberian, they want the fight against drug to go on, and they want to make sure that we defeat the fight. And we defeat drug both domestically and transnationally. We should get rid of that thing. Make a better future for our young people. Take them from in the ghettos. Take them from in the graveyard. I'm not saying just go run behind them and drive them from one community to another community or break the house and have solutions. But go about it constructively so that there is a solution-driven approach to the process. So if you're taking somebody from the graveyard, give them an opportunity to be able to have an alternative to the graveyard. If you're breaking down somebody's ghetto, give them an opportunity that comes with living from the ghetto. If you're saying somebody is abusing a drug and you want to arrest them, then you go about it in a way that the abuse does not impact how they go about serving and or living their life afterwards. So all of those things are the major points that Mr. Cummings is concerned about. So now look at Madam Joy Howard Taylor arrest. Now, when ANC put up a statement and say that they were concerned about how the former vice president were arrested, yeah, some of the facts Liberian put in to get from the primetime conversation tonight. Number one, Madam Joy Howard Taylor is a well-established personality within Liberia. She has been former first lady before. She has been a lawmaker for over 18 years, for about 18 years. She has been vice president for 6 years. When you put all of those experiences together, she's not somebody who, when she travels the country, she can hide. Anywhere that woman go, she's a public figure. She's well acknowledged. And another thing here is that before any of our top leaders, including George, former President William, former President Ellen, former Vice President Boyka, at the time, before becoming president, former Vice President Joy now, before they leave the country, there is a set protocol where the government has to be informed that they're leaving through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, so that wherever they are going, proper courtesy can be accorded them where they're going to. And so with all of those details, keep that in your hand. Then add to the fact that EPS is assigned to our former presidents and vice presidents. So EPS is controlled by the same guy who's sitting under President Barker today, writing all the Facebook posts, Sam Gay, right? And say on the drug task force. So he understands if even one of those men in the EPS to give him information about the president, former president, got it under his command, he will gather information, he can surveillance them. But with all of that, they did not even follow the courtesy to say, even if the woman is under investigation, serious investigation for drug, and you say, as a nation and as security forces, we don't want to tip her off. So we don't want to have her to be aware of the investigation. But when you heard that she was traveling, now that you heard that she was traveling, wouldn't you have gone to her house and maybe the IG or the EPS director or even maybe somebody, the security advisor, the president, say, Madam Vice President, out of courtesy, we are here to tell you that because of an active investigation concerning you, you are not allowed to travel out of the country, right? Or the foreign ministry would have communicated that to her when she went to inform them or notify them that she was about to leave the country. Oh, Madam former VP, sir, we cannot, give you the right to travel because you are under investigation, and these are the situation and circumstances. Immediately now that it's outside, then you can tell, can you come to the station, right, for questioning? Or if you don't want to come to the station for questioning, you probably might say, yes, a writ of arrest for you. We're taking you, to the court, to from there to prison. But the fact of the matter is that they bypassed all of that and they made it political. They went for this woman while she's en route traveling. They bypassed all of the possible channels that would have given her due courtesy and due respect, and not taking into consideration our constitution says clearly that anyone who is accused of any crime, they are presumed innocent until proven guilty. So Madam Joy Howard Taylor was not found guilty by your investigation. She was accused or maybe indicted by your investigation. So it's not that the court had found her guilty and she's leaving the country, so she's hiding and you were going to arrest her. But no, under the circumstances, the woman had no knowledge you were investigating her. She planned her trip, she informed Foreign Affairs Ministry. She leaving, nobody told her anything. The woman got in your car trying to go to the airport. You go there gun blazing. Question for the Liberian people. We were coming out of conflict. Many of us are still traumatized from what we saw in the conflict. When people see guns, that the way you react when you see guns with live ammunition in those guns is different from how you will react if you saw somebody was taking a hand. The woman have armed security guys who are on the oath to protect her life. The EPS officers assigned to our former presidents and our former vice president, they are on authority, they are on oath to protect their lives and to protect them from any danger. So when you guys jump from your pickup now, caught in front of a woman car, displaying, rifles and things, what if those guys had opened fire in self-defense of the woman? Somebody will say, oh, the kind of thinking happy, man. Oh, yeah, talk about war business. What happened on Johnson Road when President Charles Taylor tried to apprehend what the guy named Roosevelt Johnson? What happened? Roosevelt Johnson believed that he's left for war, he's a former warlord. The country is not yet properly settled. Everybody up for their own security. Even though we had an elected president, Roosevelt Johnson was not just going to sit down somebody bring live ammunition to her and can't collect him. Right? If you look at the TRC testimony of Joe Wally said they did not even have arms on King Johnson Road. He said they were able to mango, Liberian said mango few arms from Old Mill in order to defend themselves on King Johnson Road. I'm just saying to say that when you have armed security manning somebody and you show up without any prior notice or any tip off, you create potential to put the person's life in danger. So I think Gregory Coleman put Madam Joel Howard Taylor life in danger when he carried on that sting operation, because I don't think it was necessary. I believe, and I will say this now, I'll leave this matter. I believe even Sam Gay would have taken the radio and called the EPS officers assigned to Madam Joel Howard Taylor and said, officers, yes, Chief, Madam Joel Howard Taylor is needed at the Liberia Central right now as we speak. Those guys are the home security. They can tell them, Madam Taylor, for your own security, and the IG or the EPS director want us to take you immediately. And let me tell you something. When your security detail tell you anything, you got to go by it, because your security is in their hand. When a security detail tell you, when the EPS officers then tell you, say, Mr. President, we're grabbing you from here now, we're carrying you to the mansion, or we're carrying SYZ, you can't ask questions because they are entitled, they're responsible for your security. So the same guy had taken the radio and said, Madam, call the security and said, look, we want you to bring the woman to Central for security for certain reasons. They would have escorted her there. But if you look at the video, Lawrence, if you look at the video, you see the woman, you see Madam Joel Howard Taylor, EPS detail going into a scramble.
Yeah.
The guys who came there with their arms.
Yeah.
Why if somebody had open fire in defense of the woman's life? It would have been a problem.
You're right.
The trying to tell us, yeah. So he's saying one thing, but they are doing something totally different. Can the police arrest anybody on probable cause? Yes. Can the police call anybody in for questioning? Yes. Can the police charge anybody to court? Yes. Can the police put anybody in prison when they can't stand bond? Yes. Are there laws that say this error, this other offense is non-bailable? Yes. Is the drug law of 2023 non-bailable? Yes. So all of those things are okay, but the procedure, the way they went at it, the way they went about it, was very irresponsible and unprofessional. Just in case I gave you any other idea you want to come in before we go to the next topic, you're free to come in.
Yeah, you're right. Look, in fact, like I said before, we from the AMC, we are not party. We have never been party to any of the illegal things that have been unfolding in this country since post-war. Okay, ANC, all we've been interested in is to hold government accountable, to provide more opportunities for ordinary Liberian, whether through Mr. Cummins' foundation, Coca-Cola Africa Foundation, that is right now operating the STEM school in Dupo Road, whether it's been the rampant donation of Mr. Cummins across the country, as I would like to describe it. I mean, so that's been our interest. The AMC got an absolute clean record when it comes to distancing herself from the Kwamala Hake Liberia in backwardness. So, I mean, we will not be bitter when we see government arresting people who are alleged of doing business with the cartel. But all we're saying here is do it fairly. Do not do it where people will start putting on their political glasses and analyzing it from a political lens. That's our argument. Because when you do that, you undermine the very investigation, the essence of the very investigation. So I don't know. You are the host of the show today, but if you will allow me, I want to play this thing right here. There's the Brooklyn Park Police chief speaking about their involvement with this whole Gregory Coleman car issue. You know that Martin Collins and others have been parading on Facebook, asking this Gregory Coleman man to step aside, that he receives some material gift from the cartel to allegedly facilitate the escort of cocaine at the Rawa International Airport, and as well as cocaine were being brought in the country to be transited to Europe and other parts of the world. So the Brooklyn Park police chief, Mr. Mark Brule, has distanced himself in the Brooklyn Park police department from Mr. Coleman's claim that perhaps they received some donations or they purchased some car from the Brooklyn cars from the Brooklyn Park Police department. So if you allow me, I will play so the Liberian people can listen for themselves. And these are reasons that some of us say we clearly disagree with Mr. Boakai or President Boakai when he continued to say the fight against drugs is impartial, nobody above the law, and blah blah blah. We say no to that, and we reject that saying from President Boakai. And what we are seeing so far, like you lamented very beautifully about the arrest of Mananjua Howard Taylor, the manner, the fashion in which they did the arrest, that could even led to chaos. You cannot have armed EPS personnel assigned with the former vice president. And these people, they amended, their assignment is clear. Protect your boss, protect her life, and protect her properties. And you have men, well-able-bodied men with AK-47 rifles, and you want to disgrace their boss. You think that woman have given order that day. I mean, we could have been talking about a serious bloodbath between state security actors, security personnel of the Executive Protection Service. So that tells you how very much irresponsible this government have been with the handling of this job issue. They put the former vice president life at risk, and as well as ordinary Liberians who are serving in the EPS life at risk. Because if any altercation has occurred that day that appears in, we could have been talking different things. Like we could have been on the international wire for a gun confrontation between security personnel that are trying to act on different instructions. Because certain people choose to violate procedures to be political about the fight of justice. So obviously, Mananjua Taylor rights were clearly violated. There's no way we can say it. You cannot sugarcoat it. You cannot go about, like you said, saying gay who have become or TikToker and Facebook men, because the very less basic, they are not even concerned with the job for all they do all day on Facebook is to write all kind of things to the Liberian people. He said that, and the EPS that he said, he cannot call these guys that are assigned with the foreign vice president to say, look, madam, there's an issue here that we need your attention to. We need you to come over for investigation. And you go and send armed people to go and harass a woman and put her on a kind of situation and put her in an ambush situation. If any shooting has occurred that day, the government was going to be held responsible. Or anything will happen to Mananjua Taylor that day, it was going to be squared on the head of President Joseph Boakai. Okay, and the same Gay and others that are working with him. Because we voted for him, we didn't vote for Saint Gay and others who are abandoning their duty and sitting and ready on Facebook all day. We voted for President Boakai. We didn't vote for the people, so they are not dispensing their duties. I mean, you take them from the job. They are not the only Liberians who are qualified to work in the end of this and thing. So the fact that they got a job because they are your boys, if they are acting irresponsibly, that have the propensity to plunge the country into chaos, you have to act. The former vice president is not an ordinary person. We all now have to be from the same tribe or from the same political alignment before we speak for our right. That's where we're coming from as people that believe in the rule of law and I believe in good governance and justice, fair justice.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And if you're listening to us, you listen to Primetime Conversation on LIB Feature TV and Kia Radio 95.9. Lawrence is going to be playing us a clip on the whole car delivery happening here with Gregory Coleman.
For better future, support the Sakumi.
It's all yours, Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. The audio is good?
Let me check in.
So, fellow Liberians, there's the police chief of Brooklyn, the United States of America, that Como and others said he donated some vehicles. That appears in the audio is good because the other day when I played audio here on the live here, people were complaining that it was low. So
yeah, it's a little low again. Maybe if you put it close to the microphone.
Okay, so let me take it from the call here and put it on the microphone and see.
You know, I don't know. I hear a lot of things that
It's good.
people say, and you know, with social media and information getting construed differently.
Yeah, it's good now. It's very good.
But I know unequivocally that there's never been any vehicles from Brooklyn Park that have gone to Liberia. That doesn't mean we don't have a great relationship, and I don't know how that information got misconstrued. Not police vehicles when we bought disposal when what's the process of getting it going? Great question. Yeah, I mean, I don't even deal with it, to be honest with you. So we have Park and Recs that runs all our vehicle services. So they put tires in our vehicles, they fix our vehicles. When we buy them, actually Park and Recs buys them, and then we get them, and they go to get stickers on them and police equipment installed. But the actual vehicles are bought and sold by our Public Works division, and so when we're done with them, we send them back over to Public Works, and they send them to auction most of the time. Some of them go over to City Hall and get reused, reallocated. They take the lights off, and then civilian employees will drive them around. You've probably seen them old SWAT cars, some of our civilian staff, but most of them go to the police going to be good use. I want to believe they're going to be used. However, I've never given a vehicle. We've never given Chief Coleman a vehicle. I've never sent a vehicle to Liberia. I don't know where that came
So
from.
that's it. Let me hold it there. So that appears in you listen to the Brooklyn. Okay, so let me up this.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you listen to the Brooklyn Park Police Chief, Mr. Mike Bruley. That is his name, Mr. Mike Bruley, saying that he got no idea whatsoever. So the Hoochie Coochie story we've been hearing Monrovia here from Konekomo and others, they are all far-fetched. They are a make-up story. So that's it there. I thought to just play that.
It makes me to think twice because that's not the first time that we're having people contract.
And that's a man, by the way, that appears in quickly. That's a man that your president, Mr. Boaga, saying got special confidence in to stay be head of this investigation, and we should sit and believe and clap for Boaga like yeah, he is fighting jobs and serious against illicit job, fight against illicit job in our country.
Yeah, but that's the point though, because this is the second time we are having the police coming on a situation like this where people come up and say that whatever you said previously was false. You know, when the police chief said, when Gregory said that they were number one in Africa, I know he said like bro, national police were number 2 or number 3 or what in Africa.
Yeah, he came out later on and clarified. He denies that,
you know.
Yeah, he came out later on and clarified.
But we gotta be careful because. And then when you look again, and you made some very strong point there, and that's some of the thing we're talking about. Even if there is no proof yet that he is involved directly with cocaine, the fact that there are so many members of his deputies that are indicted under him alone tells you that he did not meet the standard for the kind of work he's supposed to be doing. It's almost like you the watchman for the hut, then the road and finish buzzing from the back to the bus from the front door. They carry something in from the hut, everything. You still won't be the watchman for the hut, like. How will you be chief watchman for the hut? Then we be the whole house vulnerable.
Oh yeah.
You know, let me assume, Lawrence. So say, because I got properties in Liberia, right? So say I got one security chief in my compound, the chief of all my security. He said that then he assigned somebody to the back gate, he assigned somebody to the front gate, he assigned somebody to be walking around the fence to make sure nobody jump the fence. Then only for someone to go find out, somebody jump through pass through the back gate, pass through the front gate, jump over the fence, all to the area breach, highway patrol breach, intelligence breach, the serious crime investigation breach, and everybody ought to finish stealing everything from her. Then I come and say, "Oh no, but what happened now?" I say, "I got confidence in the chief of security."
but that appears in is another thing, right? So let me just give you a few examples of what we're saying here, right? our former president, President Taylor, is in prison today for atrocities the International Criminal Court believe he committed in Sierra Leone, right? So I mean, Mr. Taylor, he surely go to Sierra Leone to fire AK-47 to destroy Sierra Leonean lives and property. But the Pope believe that, I mean, former President Taylor was the head of this country, and in their view, what happened, he either embedded, whether financially or whether, but even in action, right? They hear him accountable. Let's look at even the very deal discussing today. When Fadiga and former or head of the DA, AB Kuma, when they had that scoreboard, other people that were there, that the deputy for administration, Bawiko and others. In fact, Bawiko was one of the very first person in his administration that said that if he rated the point that Gregory Como himself made recently, that we have senior government officials that any petting this thing, Bawiko made a statement. But back to my original point, Bawiko and others, they lost their job for no reason because he believed that he believed that Kroma and Fadiga, the both of them were conflicted. The fact that they were fighting among themselves, they couldn't understand. So he felt just money has entered the entity. So what he did made the entire leadership change. That's what President Baka did. So why the thing cannot apply to the LMP today? Why are you shooting Mr. Como when we have a precedent case here with a very DA we're discussing? That's a clear precedent case. Bawiko had no issue. Yeah, they say, oh, Bawiko were involved, but Bawiko had no allegation on him when I think what happened. In fact, Bawiko came on and spoke in mind. He said, this thing, the cartel with Freddy, they are deeply rooted in this government. Maybe apparently that's why President Baga dismissing. But the fact that he felt if Konokoma is going, all his deputies should go with him. We also, like you said, you just made a very valid point. All of the deputies around this brother Como man, they are being catch up by the cartel. At least for Dean, we can't say alleged because he Como came on a press conference, on a live press conference towards it. This brother has confessed to the professional standard division of taking money to the NSA people. I hear the people here, they give me 10,000 to buy comfort. So why is President Bakai putting a brother above our laws? It's unfortunate, it's regrettable.
That's true. And the chief of patrol is culpable for fact because they said they escorted, Gergo said they escorted a drug with guys.
Yeah.
So we are not guessing here to say, oh, maybe or maybe. No, it's clear. Right? It's clear. But again, I think Gregor Como should step aside. I think he should step aside from the whole investigation. But then it goes to say also, besides Gregor Como stepping aside, the ship that they said was running away from us has been apprehended. It is now going to be docked at one of our ports in Liberia. We don't know the main port right now. We don't know whether it's Freeport, Buchanan Port, or Harper Port. But it's going to be docked in Liberia. But the question I got now is that look, if the men had anything on that ship that was supposed to incriminate them.
but you see, that's the reason they're laughing because they hold this cheap. Look, man, yeah, I know that bugger start doing this to like bro. You know, people cannot, but go ahead that appears because for me, I don't know what
come in.
No, you cannot treat the people like this. I mean, I don't know. You know that's the dancer of giving people what they don't merit, what they don't deserve. This old man don't deserve the presidency. That man was bad woman rehire when he made him president. So he start doing a job like that. Some of you elected him for. Look, what made this thing to make sense that appears in you people are far educated than us. You're being around than us. You're bringing logic out of this kind of thing. And let listen to them. Yeah. So the show a dog right here came on. When ordinary media, Liberian media friends of ours, when the men carry their camera there, the race issue. I think some local media guys in came out where the five people who raised their alarm. And later on, some of our media friends left from Monrovia and they went there and they amplified the situation.
After 2 days.
After 2 days, almost, I think the third day, before they sent, I think 2 patrol boats with 11 AFL soldiers to go and run after the vessel. Surprisingly, after 24 hours, the guys came back to oil and tell us, oh, the vessel finished running in DC. And where the vessel is now, the aircraft boat that we carry, they don't have the ability, the capacity, and to continue in our part of the ocean. So our men had to retreat. So we are lost sight of the ship. Can you imagine? And after 1 week, if almost 2 weeks later, and you come in and tell them, oh yeah, our friend way on our side, they said they finish grabbing the boat, we're bringing the boat back tomorrow. You must think the Liberian people, like we say in our Liberian parlance, our heads are bad in the sand. No, we are not foolish people. I mean, let the bugger government start treating the country like this. The fact that accidentally you're kin to government, you're kin to the presidency, I mean, that cannot define us to be people who are not a thinking population. You cannot treat all of this. That said, if the guys have any incriminating things on our vessel, I mean, we can simply say they are unloaded them. They are unloaded them. They probably throw them in DC or they call another vessel and they uploaded them to. I mean, they put them on board and they went away. And now you come in now because you want to continuously make Liberia to appear gullible in the eyes of our regional and international friends and say, yeah, we're bringing the boat down to Liberia, we're bringing it back to Morocco. To do what with the boat? You bring it in the boat to do what with the enter boat? We are not interested in the vessel. Our interest was what on this vessel that brought this vessel secreted into our waters, into Liberian waters, and dumped around the Cape Mount area when we seized almost $500 million worth of cocaine. That was our interest. And you lied to us. You told us, hey, the boat you carry, you can't run behind the vessel going DC, better 24 hours. But that according to the journalists came out, local journalists, they said, you could stay around the shore and be looking at the vessel, and you telling us that the vessel ran so fast. A vessel that is bigger than a patrol boat, I still to be correct that a patrol boat have more speed than the vessels. And you are telling us that the ship ran so fast more than the patrol vessels, and then when DC, you couldn't continue with the chase. And today, after 2 weeks, the Liberian government want us to believe that you bring your ship back to us. You cannot treat all of this. You know why is true we bear impatient, we're holding our peace to remove you democratically 2029. But I think the way they're proceeding is getting too much. And President Baka and the Unity Party should be mindful that appears, and you cannot treat the population like this. It's seriously unfair. It's seriously unfair.
Yeah. So the chief of staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, the current chief of staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Davison, right?
Davison Fuller, yeah, like his nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Davison Fuller, just listen to me carefully. So Davison Fuller said this morning on OKFM, and thanks to Clarence Jackson for interviewing him or calling him up. He said, so he said when we were chasing the boat went into international waters on Sierra Leone side, and then the contact of Sierra Leone refused to take action.
So they said Ivory Coast, sir. They said that
Sierra Leone refused to take action. That's what he said this morning. He said the boat went to Sierra Leone side, the contact of Sierra Leone refused to take action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when the boat, I want for that to make sense. Yeah, I want that to make sense because Sierra Leone is on one side, Africa is on one side, right?
Yeah. So because me, I really want to get a logic out of it.
Sierra Leone is on the west of Liberia. And Ivory Coast is on the east of Liberia. I just hope I get it right. North,
yeah,
south,
you're right.
west,
Yeah,
east.
Ivory Coast is
On the east.
Yeah.
Right? And Sierra Leone is on the west. So, you know, in Webber was doing service, but we say Liberia is border on the north by Guinea, on the west by
Sierra Leone, the east by Ivory Coast,
and
on the south by the Atlantic Ocean.
So, according to the general this morning on Clarence Jackson show, he said the boat was in the Freetown International Water, Sierra Leone International Water. They contacted Sierra Leone, but they did not cooperate with them. But then they finally managed to catch up with the boat in Ivory Coast. So my question is that so maybe the boat when the boat were laying running away from Cape Mount area because Cape Mount is on the west, right?
You
On the west.
know,
So when
you know,
I check in from Cape Mount area, it did go to maybe a border into Sierra Leone water small, and then at some point it deviated now into deep sea. Then went it came across all through Liberia side again, went to Ivory Coast. That's why I'm trying to wrap my head around, right? And then it got caught in Ivory Coast. But no, I just saying they got the things that can be said in Liberia can sometimes you want to understand what people really trying to sell. I'm not saying the general is lying, but I'm saying there's so much to explain that. But remember now, it's in Sierra Leone and Freetown, President Baka hanging on era. And after that, they go for wedding and all that kind of thing. He may even keen to celebrate Unfortunately, they were here in 2024 or 2025. I think 2025. You remember when they had an emphasis there, and then they were breaking into who office they were breaking into at that time. They were having an emphasis there. But the point I'm driving here. So, what relationship that we have? What relationship that we have with Sierra Leone that made the Sierra Leonean president unwilling to collaborate with us, despite the different maritime policies and Interpol relationship and drug, regional drug compact that we have, that they did not arrest that ship. That then they managed to get to Sierra Leone and arrest it. So okay, they arrest the ship, they bring the ship. Now the question here is that wait a minute, keep the thing in the ship so you can kind of find it there. 2, this ship is connected to Makuya, the president's son, best friend, who is also like a son to the president. It is a seaman who wrote to the maritime and said, I'm sending you a letter. There's a ship in distress. You please go there, but when you're going, nobody will engage it. Where is Makuya? If they're able to unleash Liberian national security and the coast got to go, where to Sierra Leone to go grab the ship? Where Makuya? Makuya in jail? All right, my people, y'all listening there, we'll open the lines in about 8 minutes. We'll open the lines to hear your view. We want to say welcome to Primetime Conversation. This is where we discuss national issues and pertaining to our country. And we go into the nitty-gritty of the discussion to see what are some of those things happening in our country and how we can be a part of the discussion, the discourse concerning our country, Liberia. Let me play you a little bit of this song while my brother and friend Lawrence Spencer started to get the calls prepared.
Yeah, man. Welcome to Primetime Conversation, where the truth speaks and the people listen. From Cape Town to Maryland, from Nimba to Montserrat, the future calling Liberia. When the voices of the people start to rise, you can see the truth within their eyes. Too many years of struggle and pain, still the people dancing in the rain. But hope is growing in the land tonight, a new vision coming into sight, a servant leader walking with the crowd, speaking truth, humble but proud. This is Primetime Conversation, talking about the nation's transformation, from the villages to the city life. Liberia, searching for what is right, education for every girl and boy, healthcare bringing hope and joy, a stronger future we can see for every Liberian family. Hear the farmers calling from the field, waiting for the harvest that the land can yield. Technology knocking at the nation's door, young minds ready to explore. Electric power shining through the night, security standing for what is right, the economy rising for everyone, a new chapter has begun. This is Primetime Conversation, voices of a rising generation.
This is Primetime Conversation live on Kia Radio 95.9. You're listening to LIB Feature TV. I want to say thank you again for joining us. Share the show if you have not joined the show. We're about to open the line so we can hear from our audience out there. I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. Wherever you are, don't forget to check your doors and your windows and make sure everything is okay as we go deep into the night, almost to bed. Lawrence, open the lines. Do we have any callers tonight?
All right, so folks, as usual, we will now open our telephone lines. We've been discussing the speech of the Liberian president, President Joseph Boakas, on last evening about the government impartiality towards the force of judge. So you've been listening to Dr. Clarence R. Pearson, Sion, and myself, Lawrence Spencer, here on Kia Radio 95.9 megahertz. So we've been talking our own, and as usual, we open the lines at this time for you to either agree or disagree with us. This is Liberia, Liberia belong to every one of us. For us, when we come here, what we say is in the interest of our country. We do not put political party above Liberia. That is why when we come, we are very objective with what we say. So the line is now open 0777 959 959 0777 959 959 is the orange number to join the show this evening. And for the NTN subscriber or Lone Star users, you can dial 0881 871 670 0881 871 670. You are a Lone Star subscriber. Like I said, the orange number as usual to call is 0777 959 959. What do you make of the president speech on last evening? President Baka is saying the fight against jobs is done on the basis of the rule of law. They will not be partial with the fight. Do you agree with the president or do you disagree? Please join us and make your point. Good evening. Yeah, welcome your name and where have you called? Oh, Mr. Fanga, welcome to the show. Mhm. Mr. Pearson, the call is loud, or I should put the phone on the mark. Yeah, go ahead, caller, go ahead.
Yeah, it's low.
What's on your mind? Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, quick. Mhm. Okay.
Now, the commander for that area made sure he invited to just be held attend about our story. He had to one to persuade him, and he know that the criminal are going to now they are very far. So he tell him that the hospital that was started.
But you identify the criminal, but you are not apprehending the criminals. They are still passing around freely. Yeah, but that's the point. So the whole now will get concerned and say, but these people who said that stream people, they are criminal. I can't talk my thing. How can you not do anything for the police to apprehend them? So like you could now with these people. That's why the whole now will get issue with you, the manager. All right, Chief. Thank you. I think we are giving you your fair time. Thank you. Let's take all of because of time, but thank you. We appreciate your thought. So 077-959-959 is the number to join the show.
Yeah, the message me get chief security and other men made a road enter the hall. You still keep a chief security.
Yeah, I'll get back to it. Let's take this person. Good evening. Welcome to the Prime Time Conversation, Chief. Where are you joining us from? I don't know why the calls are low. Let me see. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, I think better. Oh, we lost our caller. So 077-959-959 is the number to join the show. Fellow Liberians, President Bwaka is saying the fight against Joy is non-political. He is fighting it fairly. Do you agree or not? Go and make your point. Good evening. I'm good, my dear. Go ahead. Your name. All right. Thank you. How is Man Barkley? Okay. Mm-hmm. No, Chief. The parent. Hello, Chief. The parent can't go that route. You know what? Get a ring, my man. When everybody will feed it, and we have been through a lot. We will never allow bad governance to take us back there. I think there's the right thing we're doing for every one of us to point it out. But go ahead. All right, you okay, Chief. So 077-959-959. That appears you listening to the call of Liberian frustrated. The other guy saying that 2025 is 9, but I take this person. Good evening, welcome. Yeah, go ahead. All right, my brother. After this person, 077-959-959. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Yeah, go ahead. All right, Terry, just be all able small so our other friends in the diaspora that are following online can be able to get you as well. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Terry, because of time, we can't take you that long. All right, thank you, bro. Terry. Thank you. Let's take the others. So that appears in we got 20 more minutes, so we can use the next 10 minutes to take calls and then we can use the remaining time to close up.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. Good evening. Okay, that person dropped the line. Sorry, 777-959-959. Librarians are speaking. You see, that's why we say it's dangerous to politicize a fight because librarians. Good evening. You live or chief? Go ahead. Your name. I mean, you're terribly low. You're very, very low. You have to speak loud so that the people. Yeah, go ahead. Who? Benson Street. All right, go ahead. Okay, my brother. Thank you for your view. Let's take the next question because of time. All right, thank you. Librarians are disappointed that appears in from the chorus. Th- yeah, thank you, my brother. Let's take another librarian. Thank you. Zero trouble sharing. Oh God, the calls are coming in the phone. Okay, the phone freezing. All
Yeah,
right.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So zero trouble sharing 959 line. The call is coming back to back, and sometimes yeah. Okay, so let's take this person. Good evening. Yeah, you have to speak loud so people can get you. Your name. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Thank you, and thanks for being very succinct. Evelyn, yeah, good. Yeah, hello, welcome to the show. Okay, Mom Maria, how is history this evening? So, Mom Maria, you agree with President Barker that the fight against Josh is impartial, nobody above the law. You agree to that? Mm. Say it's not impartial. You mean? Yeah, yeah. They partial about it. They shooting their own when they go after other people. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mom Mary. Yeah, that appears in like brains are speaking. I mean, the people are frustrated.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a fact. The point is that look, I think we need to be united in this fight, and the president needs to be
So
united.
I can take two more. I can take two more. Don't close. I take
Yeah,
the
go ahead,
person.
go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the show. Good evening. Good evening, Chief. Welcome. Okay, Darius. How is the Kaba end? All right. Just be loud a bit so that our audience can get you. Mhm. Okay. No, thank you, my brother. That whole RP that my Mary said, no matter what they do, that whole RP is 2029 is right here, my brother. Nothing lasts forever. So I agree with my Mary. That whole RP because I brought don't do every one of us. But thank you, my brother. No, we got to wow, my brother. Yeah, so that take the person. Good evening. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Triple sorry now. Let's take the last person so that we can be able to get our parting comment. The calls are coming in back to back, but we cannot take everyone. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, good evening, Chief. Your name? Okay, Banave Junction. Go ahead. All of them real bulls, my brother. LPRC, Freeport, this, that. Certainly. Amen. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I mean, you're making a lot of certain point, but because of time, we can't continue with you. We got only 10 more minutes. So we want to stop the call here. I mean, the calls keep coming. A reminder, we're not close. So I want to tell all of you, thank you, yeah. Thank you, my brother. The full poison. I really been calling. I don't know. Yeah, you are a great scorer. 30 seconds. You really been calling. Go ahead quickly. Okay, the law is the law, so that hold you there because of time. Yeah, but that appears in you listen to. I think we took over 10 calls, and majority of the Liberian people. I mean, what's your take? You listen to the callers.
You know, I think the feeling is much aligned with what we've been seeing lately. Liberian people are concerned that the fight against drug is important, but at the same time, people want to see the fight being fair and that the government go about this thing in a transparent way. Because if at the bottom line, we want to solve a problem, right? The whole thing about drug is like cancer. When you want to treat cancer, you can't play with it. You know, if you have a cancer on your foot and you just say, I will just cut small the part there, leave the other side there, you're still gonna lose that whole leg because the cancer will still spread. To get rid of cancer, you gotta get rid of all of the cancer cells. All of the cancer cells. So we're not going to solve the drug problem picking and choosing who we want to prosecute and who we don't want to prosecute at one. Second, even if we want to say let the law be the law, we have to go about executing the law so that we don't violate people's rights in the process. Because our constitution says that a person, even if accused, is innocent until proven guilty. You do not take people to court with the idea that they're going to prove themselves innocent. You take people to court with the understanding that you're going to prove them guilty. That person got nothing to prove. All they got to do is just stand there and defend themselves against all of the charges and the accusation you're bringing against. And you bringing the charges, you got to have the evidence to support your argument. So because of the laws that we have, you cannot treat people who have been accused as though they are already guilty. So in the process, you start violating their rights. I believe that the vice president's life was placed in danger by how our law enforcement went about bringing her to justice. If the EPS that under oath to have protected her life had responded to the sudden threat of law enforcement, the way they keep brandishing the arm and cutting off the Oman convoy, that would have led to unnecessary bloodbath. And like you said, bystander would have gotten hurt. Even the former vice president would have gotten hurt in the process. What we're going to say? And I know sometimes politics, while we put a spin politics, somebody will say, oh, they open fire first. But the thing about self-defense, Lawrence, self-defense means you can't wait until you get hurt before you defend yourself.
Yeah.
Self-defense means you want to prevent the harm from happening to you. So even if the former vice president security, EPS security that took oath to protect her life and was assigned to her to protect her life, had opened fire on the gunmen that brandished the arm against her safety, they would have done it in self-defense. Right? They would have done it in self-defense to protect the woman's life. And that would have been I think that Gregory Moore, Sam Gator should coordinate more better in the future, because all Sam Gator would have done, pick up the radio and call the EPS assigned to the Oman, or take out the cell phone, call the EPS assigned to the Oman and say, look, you tell the Oman that she needs to report to maybe so and so place, and they would have escorted her. I don't think Madam Taylor would have argued or say no. And even if she wanted to say, okay, I will go, but you're my lawyer, then conference, show her the respect. Show her the respect. Now lawyer come, then she report herself. So I think the way they did it, they wanted some political show, and they can demonstrate that they executing people, the prosecuting people to score political point. Liberia is not a country that should be scoring political point and thereby endangering the life of many other Liberians or endangering the peace of the country. Liberia is all we have, and we must protect the peace of Liberia. And I said to the president's speech, Mr. President, people hold presidents in very high esteem. When you want to be respected and you want your words to have weight, your action got to match your word. If your action does not match your word, you will start talking, nobody will take you serious. And when they say, oh, the president come and speak, nobody even want to listen to the messages. What we're listening to, the man can lie. The man can say one thing, then go and do a different thing. And the more Liberians that start to think like that, the more, we lose respect as a country. So I think we need to take, and that whole ship thing, I want to thank Defense Minister Davis, and I said, not Defense Minister, but the Chief of Staff, the Armed Forces, I said, oh yeah, the ship has been collected, but my people, what good is the pot if the pot already empty? And somebody say, oh, the pot got resting, so somebody check the pot from the pot and run away and say, roll. Then they roll late. The rope can eat the other rep in the pot, then they say, oh, man, I found the pot. Right. What are you going to do with the empty pot? Where is Makuya? The man who's supposed to be having the ship. The man who's know more about the ship. Where is Makuya? Where is Makuya? If you have enough evidence and enough reason to impound the whole ship, to arrest a whole ship, then what's about the men who are advocating for the ship? Where is he? Why is he not being paraded? Or ambushed? The way they ambush Madam Joel Howard Taylor. Why didn't he ambush Makuya with the president's son? Because I have best friend and the president's stepson, so now that special treatment. These are the things we're dealing with, and I think that's where the people of Liberia got a problem. And again, before we close, I want to say this, Lawrence. Our next president has said, Mr. Cummings has said, the LSCC needs to tell Liberian people how that whole FOIA project went down. Councillor Alexandra of the LSCC, you are not boycott LSCC. You are not boycott's protector. You are not President Boyka's defender. You are the defender of the people of the Republic of Liberia. You took oath to ensure that you defend the country from corruption. You cannot be defending the country from corruption and be shielding corrupt officials. If there are officials in the government who took monies that was not in the budget, who took monies and went and gave it to somebody to go do contract in FOIA, who took money to give it to investor in FOIA, and we don't know whether there was a competitive bidding, whether the PPCC law was followed, and none of those things were accounted for, and the money just came from nowhere, just dropped from heaven, just a manna. The manna dropping in FOIA, you let us know, so we can go down our basket, go pick our manna. If that fresh US dollar FOIA, I don't know what, they will carry our basket and go to FOIA and go start picking our own free money. But no, LCC, Councillor Alexandra, you need to respond to Mr. Cummins' communication to you that said, tell the Liberian people where the money came from, who took the contract, how they got the contract to build the property in FOIA. We agree. FOIA deserves development. Anywhere in Liberia, development is deserving there. Liberia needs to develop. It must be developed responsibly and with the rule of law backing it. And, and I want to close on that note, and I want to say, Lawrence, I give it up to you. Give a passing word before I hit that end screen button.
Yeah, so I mean, we clearly out of time. All I want to say, thank you today for sitting our control, Chief Dr. Pearson. You're right. Next week, when you and myself at the time, we will discuss that statement from the old man, the LACC team with the FOIA project, and probably we'll also look at the 1,200 foreign nationals that have been dumped on our soil. The government, the same thing they're doing with the ship is what they're doing with that 1,200 foreign persons that they bring into our country. They are not telling what arrangement they enter in with the U.S. government, but because of time, we will dive into that more on Thursday, hopefully, or next week when you and myself do the show again, hopefully. So I want to say thank you. Thanks to all of our callers, those who take all their time to follow us, Facebook, and by their radio. I want to say thank you for always joining Prime Talk, and hopefully we'll be here next week by God's grace. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir.
LIB, stand up. Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.